Hello again. So this is the second video. We will be working on the Christmas card that we did during the October 30 session of our Busy Hands class. So this is the card. Okay. And as you'll note, nandyan yung ibang images na ilan dun sa mga images na kasama dun sa pina-download at print out ko sa inyo. Okay, so the digital stamps, yung set ng Christmas Village, we will use those today, and we'll also use white cardstock, yung base. Okay, so the base is white cardstock. Again, it's cut into yung A2 size. And then we also use dark blue cardstock. And then yung light blue na cardstock. Right? And then also a smaller piece of the white cardstock. Right? And then the digital stamp. Anyway, I leave it there. And I guess the thing that we'll learn today is, for this particular card, is layers. Okay? So we'll use layers. And yung pag fussy cut. Okay, so yung pagcut ng shapes. So this is the file I sent, or I posted doon sa ating Google Classroom. So you're supposed to print this out for today's class. And as you can see, this is our, well, we don't have a sketch for today, but this is the sample from yesterday. And asan ba yun? Yung pinakita ko sa class, wait lang ha, was this Christmas card. Okay, so ito yung ating inspiration. So we don't have a sketch. This is our inspiration. Of course, it's not a snowman, but more or less the general layout of the card. Okay. Ito yung inspiration natin. So that's what we'll do today. Actually, we did it yesterday. I'm redoing the videos. So for this card, like I said, we're going to use, kita nyo na rin, sinulatan ko na by hand. I labeled the components. So we're going to use the A2 card base. Okay? So ito yung, kung may sobra pa kayo doon sa kinat natin sa ating first day na nag-lesson tayo, ito yung A2, diba? So you can choose to use either a side folding or top folding card. Okay? So yun yung card base natin. I leave it there naman. And then we have we'll get to the other stuff na lang siguro in a bit. Okay? So let's go to the stamps. Okay? So these are digi-stamps or digital stamps. Okay? So there are artists who create these images, and then these are actually sold. Pero may mga website, like the one I specified on the Google Classroom. Okay? So yung Papercraft, it's a magazine. Okay? And they have free downloadables, including this one. Right? So you can use this. If you find something else, of course, you can use that too. Now, for this particular card, I'm going to cut out this house. This, what? It's ano to? Gingerbread Village yata yung name nung set na to, di ba? So this is the house I'm going to cut out, including this smoke billowing out of the chimney that says Merry Christmas. So ito na yung sentiment ko, as you saw in the sample. So we will cut that out. Let's take our scissors. Okay. So nabanggit ko rin to sa class if you missed it at the beginning. Hindi nakasama dun sa video. I showed them what they could find on the website, and I show them yung na the digi stamps can come in different file formats. So if it's an image file like this one, it's one big image file with all the images. Okay, you can, 'di ba, crop and select which one you want to use. Tapos yun lang ang i-print nyo. Okay, or you can build a scenery including kunwari several of the houses and some of the tree, let's say, or the lamppost. Okay, so you can compose that and then print that out. Tapos yun na yung isasama nyo sa card nyo. So for this one, I chose these two images which I will fussy cut. So fussy cutting, a lot of paper crafters use that term, is the term for to refer to when you're cutting, diba, when you're cutting out an image and it's a little involved or fussy. Okay, so I'm trying to cut along the edges of that image. Okay, it's not always the cleanest or the most perfect. Okay, but you know, you do your best. So, ang advice ko na lang, don't cut exactly on the border, the black line. Pwede kayong mag-iwan ng maliit na white. Okay? Para hindi kayo in danger of cutting yung mismong item. Anyway, you can remedy that later. Diba? We have our black sign pen or gel pen. We can always fix that later if you accidentally cut part of the border. But what I do is cut as close to the border as I can with a little bit of allowance. So, just in case. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this last time, yung pag-cut nyo, this is not my favorite pair of scissors pala. Saan yung aking ginagamit for detail. The smaller pala, the smaller the scissors, the better to cut yung details. Okay? Because the finer the tip, it allows you to reach the small itty-bitty parts better. Okay. So, kung may madali kayo sa pagkat nyo, pwede nyo namang remedyohan, diba? We can always tape the back. Ano na lang. This is not my... Asan na ba yung scissors na yun? Kung mahanap. Nahanap ko kanina bago nag-start. Anyway. So, ayan guys. Also, when you cut, you turn the paper. Okay? So, hindi yung kamay nyo yung gigewang-gewang. Okay? That will put a lot of strain on your hand and your arm. Okay? So, you can hold it steady, your cutting hand, and you manipulate the paper na lang. So straight lang kunwari ito. Tapos yun. Ang igagalaw nyo ay yung papel na ginugupit nyo. Okay? Ingat din kayo sa pagkat kasi sharp din ang scissors. Okay. Ako, nung maliit pa ako, ilang beses ko rin na nagupit ang sarili ko. Well, I was using actually, it was scissors for sewing, so it was super sharp. I have the battle scars from that. And it didn't happen just once, it happened twice. Talaga nga naman kapag ikaw ay clumsy. Okay. Tapos, pag nagupit kayo, syempre, ingatan nyo na ang itatapon nyo ay yung gusto nyo itapon. Nangyari na rin yun sa akin. Ang tinapon ko, ay yung ginugupit ko. So, be careful. Okay. Of course, it's you also have to concentrate. Ang daldal ko kasi. Anyway. So, I was planning to do these videos earlier today when it was still a little bit brighter outside. Kaso, I woke up with a headache. And, wala. I was attempting to sleep it off. And that didn't work very well either. So, ngayon, medyo masakit pa rin. Pero, better naman, I can function. So, we have the house. Ay, yung hagdan pa. Ano ba? Okay, so, in the staircase leading up to the front door. Okay. So, maliliit na details na to, no? So, this is what we call fussy cutting because it's fussy. Mabusisi. Diba ang translation ng fussy? Maligalig? Ayan. Okay. So, finished cutting the house. So, we'll cut the smoke from the chimney. Now, ito naman curved. So, same thing. Don't move your hand, your cutting hand. What you move is your other hand holding the piece that you're cutting. Okay. So, okay lang na may konting white. Ito rin pala yung sinabi ko kahapon, ano? Yung part na it doesn't have to be perfect. So, when you make handmade cards, of course, it's nice if it looks professional, diba? Mukha siyang binili sa store. But actually, part of the charm of your handmade card is the little imperfections that come with making it with your hands. Okay? Kakasabi ko lang na okay lang na hindi perfect, tapos nauusi ako dun sa okay. Ito pala yung ginawa ko kahapon. Ito na rin yung gagawin ko today. I cut straight lines moving into those tight corners. Kaya pala hindi ko makuha today. Tignan nyo, talagang medyo your cognitive function is affected by physical things like a headache. So, my brain is not working as well as it should because of my headache. Anyway, usually when I have a headache, yun nga, like I said. Sorry about that. my interruption. Okay. Ayun. So, it's better to reach into those small tight corners with the line that I cut. Okay. Ano ba yung sinasabi ko? Okay. Pag masakit ang ulo ko, sorry, kwento ako ng kwento. Pag masakit ang ulo ko, usually, tinatry kong itulog. So, I don't right away drink meds. Okay, so I try to sleep it off muna. May progression din yung aking iba-ibang type ng headache din. Yung migraine ko, usually it's hormonal. So it comes during certain times of the month. And it starts out na mild, mahina. Pagkagising mo, meron eh. Tapos, as the day goes by, it intensifies. So, pag hindi nag-work yung tulog, minsan, hindi ko kaya mag-work. Actually. So, kung yung things na kailangan ng pag-iisip, hindi ko kaya. Lalong nakakasakit sa ulo. But for some reason, things like coloring, it doesn't require much thought. It's just mechanical. It helps. Well, depende rin sa color. may mga color na nakakasakit ng ulo for me. Like, if I color with a lot of yellow, that gives me, well, if I have a headache, that will make it worse. But, yan! Cut na natin. Okay. So, we're done with the cutting. So, we can, I think, I said this yesterday, ano? Better siguro kung kinulayan na natin bago natin i-cut. Ito na naman ang aking brain na hindi at 100%. Anyway, so we'll color it after we put things together. So, ito yung layers. Okay? So, yung sinabi ko kanina, we'll be working with layers today. Let me put this away muna. Ito ko ilalagay si layers. Okay. So, ito yung image, bali yung pinaka-image niya, yung scenery ay itong panel na to. So, we cut a light blue cardstock or colored paper. Actually, kung kita nyo, manipis to. Ano to? Ito yung bumili ako ng kartolina. Gagamitin ko sana panggawa ng cards. Tapos, na-realize ko na, ay, ang nipis. Okay, so ito yun. Okay? It's I don't know, probably 100 GSM. Very close to this one. So this I cut 2 3/4 inches by 4 inches. Okay? So dito natin ilalagay si house at si smoke, si sentiment. Okay? So ito yung size niya. That's 2 3/4 by 4 inches. Okay? Now, I won't leave it na ganyan lang kasi medyo hindi medyo weird naman na parang lumulutang si bahay. So, we have to ground it. Literally, we need to make yung ground. Okay? So, we can create a snowy hill. Where did I put that? Okay? So, you get a scrap piece of your white paper. Pwedeng yung gilid-gilid nung, diba? At doon ko siya kinuha. Yung gilid-gilid ng inyong digi-stamp. So, pwede nyo gamitin yan. Huwag sayangin. Okay? So, you cut out a piece of white na, so, ang width nito ay 2 3/4, diba? So, this is also 2 3/4. Okay? So, and this is about, siguro, 1 inch. 1 inch high. And what I want to do is, baliktad. Use pencil to draw yung parang hill. Okay. So, where's my pencil? So, happy na ba ako dito sa position na Siyempre, pwede nyo namang igitna, diba? Pero yun nga, makakat naman si sentiment. Kasi, yun nga, since smoke siya coming from the chimney, it has to be positioned above the chimney. Okay? So, what we're going to do is cut the snowbank. Snowy hill. Okay. So, again, you move the paper, not your hand. Holding the scissors. Okay. Easy enough. So we now have that. We're going to put it down there. And then place our house above it. Okay. And then we're going to put the smoke up there. Now, we can put it a little higher siguro. Ayan. Okay. If you notice, may part ng smoke na nalampas dun sa edge. And I will cut that out. But you can also leave it there if you like. Okay? But from what it looks like, to me, I want to cut it out later. Just like the sample we have. So, we can start putting these down or gluing them. Starting with the hill or the ground, the snowy ground where our house is built. I'm using liquid glue. Okay. And the nice thing about liquid glue in this type of project is that you can move it around. Okay? Not too much. Kasi kung masyado namang maraming liquid glue, ano mangyayari? Magwa-warp naman yung paper. Diba? Magkukulo-kulubot siya pag masyadong basa. So, tama lang. Okay? So, yan. So, tapat sa dulo, sa gilid. Okay? Kung may sobra sa sides, pahiran lang. Ay, madaling tanggalin. Okay? So, there. We have our hilt. And then, we're going to glue the house. Sorry. My throat is a little scratchy. That is probably from trying to sleep the whole day. Hindi naman hapon na. Okay guys, ingat kayo ah. Pakarating na yung bagyo. Actually, kulimlim buong araw. Sana, sabi nila it's a super typhoon. Predicting na baka signal number 4. And the difficult part, of course, is that some parts of the country are already reeling from the effects of the previous typhoon. And it's hard to do an evacuation, of course, dun sa affected areas. Lalo na ngayong pandemic na kailangan nagso-social distancing tayo. Kasi syempre, pag nababad ka sa ulan din, pwede ka magkasakit. Pag binaha yung bahay, kailangan talagang lumikas muna. Sana maingat kayong lahat. Sa bahay kayo, hindi kayo masyadong affected. And let's also hope that the storm is not as bad as people predict. As we know, diba, weather prediction is not a precise science because there are a lot of things that affect it. Okay, so on the way here, things can change. So let's hope for the best. Or the best situation given the circumstances. Okay. So sabi ko gugupitin ko no. Gugupitin ko in excess. Okay. Nadidinig nyo ba? Actually, pag masakit din ang ulo ko, ayokong maingay. Tapos yung masyadong maliwanag, ganyan. I have Christmas music playing in the background to help me feel better. to set the mood. Ayan. So there. And what we're going to do next is we cut yung white, diba? Ito. So that white background where this whole image sits, we're going to cut it. Okay. We got cut off again. As I was saying. So this is the next thing we'll be working on. So this is the mat. Okay, that will be where we'll be sticking this image here. So it's actually 1/4 of an inch larger on the sides and also on the top and bottom. Well, 1/4 total. So ibig sabihin may 1/8 na border around 1/8 inch na border around this image here. Okay? So we have to add 1/4 sa top sa sides. So this is going to be, ito yung kanina, no? You add 1/4 to each to get that border, that frame. So this is going to be 3 inches by 4 1/4 inches. Okay, so 3 inches across, 4 1/4 inches lengthwise. Okay, so you cut it, okay, in those dimensions, And that will be a nice border or frame, okay, to our image here. So, we're going to stick that down with glue, wet, wet, I keep saying wet, liquid glue. Again, what I like about liquid glue is that when you stick it down, you still have time to move it around. Okay? Kapag kasi ginamit nyo double-sided or glue tape, pag dinikit nyo, mahirap nang iurong-urong. Okay? Permanent na yun. Pero since this is liquid glue that we're using, so make sure it's centered na lang. Okay? So, same distance from all sides, mga 1/8 of an inch. Okay? So, pwede nyo iurong-urong kung feeling nyo hindi pa yun yung tamang placement. Okay? Okay. There. So, again, don't use too much glue so as not to warp the paper. And we'll use our black pen to add a little bit of interest. So, meron tayong sorry. How did I pause it? Sorry Napansin nyo laptop itong the laptop is occupying almost half of the view. So, ito, tong dots. Okay. So, it adds a little bit of interest and also emphasizes or draws attention to the image. So, you can do dash lines, parang stitches. Okay, in this case, we'll do the dots. Okay, I'll start on this corner. Okay. So, you can try to be, bakit may langgam? Okay. We have a visitor. Okay. Ayoko siyang, never mind. Ayoko siyang patayin. Langgam siya. Wala naman siyang ginagawang masama sa akin. Okay. One edge done. So, try to make it even, but if it's not even, that is also fine. Sorry. Hindi kasi flat yung paper. Okay. A third edge. Last edge. So, this is fairly easy. Like I said kanina, you can do dash lines. If you have a larger border, you can do it a little thicker. Pero, syempre, you don't want it to anong tawag dito? Ayaw nyong ma-draw yung attention sa kanya mismo doon sa border. Dapat yung attention nasa gitna. So, you're just going to draw a nice subtle border. Okay? Sorry. So, now we have the next component of the card is the dark blue matte. M-A-T or frame. Ang frame kasi it goes over, matte goes underneath. And again, what it does is it draws your eye to the image. Okay? So, you're going to stick it down. Wait. What dimensions pala? Nalimutan ko rin to kahapon. Nakakatawa. So, same thing. So, you're going to cut a dark blue matte cardstock or colored paper in this dimension. So, 3 1/4 across and then 4.5 inches lengthwise. Okay? So, you cut that out. And what I also mentioned yesterday, kasi for some of you, no, limited in terms of what material, sorry, bulol, what materials are available to you. So, yesterday, I also showed, diba, yung, what do you do if you don't have yung colored paper? But I need a matte na iba yung kulay, diba? Para ang gusto kasi natin ay ma-emphasize yung yung image na may contrast dun sa frame. So, in this case, we're using this dark blue matte. Okay? So, dark blue na kasi yung paper or yung cardstock. So, what if we don't have the dark blue cardstock? I offered 2 suggestions. One is that you can use your coloring materials to fake it. Fake that word is it. I'm using this marker. Okay, it's Prussian blue. Okay, and it has a chisel. It has a fine point that you'll see. I'll use it to color later. Different colors naman. Okay? But what will make it easier for us is this chisel tip. Okay, and we can fake the fake yung dark blue na border by just coloring the edges. Okay. So, is that enough? Actually, pwede nyo pang gawin. Kung ayaw nyong makita yung dulo na white, kasi white nga yung paper. Actually, other papers din, minsan, pagkakat nyo, yung dulo kita yung white kasi yung core. What you can do is pass the pen through that over the edge. So, hindi nakita yung edge. So, if you view it from the side, it looks blue all throughout. Sorry, hindi even. I didn't put it down on the table to color it. Kasi baka ma-stain yung table. Sorry. Ayun, diba? So, it's a good way to make yung matte. Okay? Na, not using this. If you don't have a solid piece of dark blue cardstock, you can actually make matte. Okay? Of course, you have to make it the whole thing. I'm just using this scratch piece of white to show you. Aside from that, yung isa pang pinakita ko kahapon is that you can use washi tape. Okay? So, in this case, this is not actually blue. I think it's more of a dark purple or maybe, blue violet. We can... Nangyari din to kahapon, ha? Itong tape na to ay marupok. Okay. So, well, that's the beauty of washi tape, is that you can tear it with your hands. You don't need scissors. But if you need a nice straight edge, you need to use scissors. Or a cutting tool. Okay? So, ayun, isagad nyo. Dikit nyo siya. Okay. You can see where I'm going with this, right? I will use scissors this time. And hindi ko na lang pinatong. Kahapon pinakita ko, pinatong ko, tapos pinutol ko rin. Para hindi. Kasi kung ipatong mo, magiging dark, diba? Washi is, so, lagay na nga natin. Is translucent. Ayan, sige, I'll show you. If I place it there, you'll get the darker shade dun sa corner ng paper. Okay? So, if you want it to look even, let's cut it. Where's my cutter? Ayan. Let's fold this over. I shall cut this. right there on the edge. And then peel it off from there. Okay? So that could also be your mat. Okay? So, pwede rin siyang gamiting mat. Okay? Diba? So, kung wala kayo nung iba't ibang kulay, you can actually improvise. It's my favorite word. When I started out crafting, of course, I didn't have all the materials na kailangan para magawa yung mga ibang techniques. So, I had to improvise. And, you know, you have to do a lot of stuff by hand. Like I mentioned before, I have tools now. But I didn't start out that way. Unang-una, mahal yung tools. Tapos, some of them were not really available here in the Philippines. Pero ngayon, marami ng shops, okay, online. And you can find those tools. Dami palang crafter dito sa Pilipinas na mahilig mag-shopping. Yun yung pinapoint out ng iba that crafting and shopping for craft stuff are two separate hobbies daw. So hopefully, diba? The nice thing about doing these things is that you learn to use all these things that you hoard. I'm not encouraging hoarding, guys. I'm just telling you where I am. Kasi, nag-start ako mag-scrapbook siguro 2008. Okay, so, ang dami ko nang naipon na. Tapos, syempre, wala naman akong time. So, hindi ko magamit lahat nung na-acquire ko. Ayan. So, we're almost done with this card. Okay? So, we're just going to stick this down. But now, when I make cards kasi, usually, you finalize things first before you stick them down. Okay? So, pwedeng magkulay na tayo bago natin i-stick. Ito yung we didn't have time for yesterday. But now, I guess, we can do it quickly. I'll use finer markers this time. Kasi yung kahapon, ay hindi. Yun na lang kasi kabisado ko na yung kulay. Okay. So, I'm using red. Red for the berries. Oh, this is dark red. This is not the red I used yesterday. Wait. Is it actually cherry pink? Oh no. I forgot. No, it's not that either. Coral red? Sorry guys. Mukhang ewan. Ayan. Oh well. So, I colored the heart in the lollipop. Sabi ko pa naman fine, pero lampas-lampas ang aking kulay. Okay, I also colored the curtains here sa taas. Tama ba? Kinukonsulta ko ang aking kodigo. Just the sample. I'll put the sample up here na nga. I'll remove these things. Baka magamit pa later. Let's hang on to those. And then place this here. I color these curtains on the upper floor red. So, this is a gingerbread house, supposedly. Kaya brown. Brown yung kulay natin. And then, anything else na red? Wala na. Okay. So, I used a lighter brown for the staircase. Sort of a reddish brown for the house. Okay, sige. Unahin natin si house. So, of course, the problem with this type of pen na hindi siya as in ultra fine point is, ayan, yung maninipis na parts. Yun, lumampas na ako. Kailangan ingatan. And these are alcohol markers I'm using. Okay, so, kung nakikita nyo, para siyang kumakalat. Okay. These are permanent and a little smelly. But what I like about them, although we won't get to demonstrate it in this particular project. What I like about them is that they're easy to blend. So if you like to color images, they're vibrant. So diba, hindi kailangan na madiin. Yung touch nyo light lang, pero the color will show up. Okay, now I'm using this not for those reasons, but because it's what I have here close by. So when I was working on the first card, ayun din lang yung katabi ko na. I could have chosen finer. If you have Sharpies, those will work. Yung ultra fine na Sharpie. Even not the ultra fine. Just the fine point will work. Okay. So, ngayon, medyo madugo. So, ito, hindi ko to pinakita nung yesterday's lesson. Kasi, we had to, of course, abide by the 1.5 hours that we had for the session. So, the images were left uncolored. So, these videos possibly, lampas siya ng 1.5 hours total yung sa 2 cards. But at least ito, hindi ko kayo kinukulit kung nakakasunod ba kayo. Because I'm recording it nahiwalay. Also the chimney pala. So, there's the brick. And then the top part. Same color naman, pero yun, you can layer then alcohol markers, diba? Mas maraming layer, mas dark or mas intense yung color. So, this is brown gray, I think. Eh? Which one is this? Yeah, brown gray. So, ito yung roof. At saka yung door jamb, yung steps. Tapos yung shutters ng window. Is this the right one? Sometimes it looks dark when you apply it at first. But when it dries, it becomes lighter. So, ito yung disadvantage ng kinukulayan mo siya na nakadikit na lahat. Kasi kung kinulayan mo to bago mo ginupit, kung lumampas ka, pwede mong gupitin yung lampas. Okay, but in this case, since we're coloring it, ayan ang lampas. We're coloring it after we've stuck it down where it's supposed to be. Okay. There. Ano na, susunod natin ay green. Green, pale green. Is it? Yeah, pale green. So this is pale green, which I will use for, kasi syempre Christmas, diba? So, kahit blue yung ating card, andun pa rin yung red and green na color scheme ng Pasko. Okay, so, I'm coloring the door green, the curtains on the lower floor, green, yung lampas, kunwari shadow. Okay. So, I'm leaving the windowsills white pa lang, pero we'll color it later with the cream or sort of bluish gray. So, itong leaves ng kanyang decorations ay green, tapos yung lollipop green din. Green. Okay? And then, we have yellow for the inside of the house. Do I want the fluorescent yellow ba? Sige, para maliwanag. I didn't use fluorescent yellow for the sample pala. I used canary yellow, which is more yellow. Ito ay mas neon. Okay. So, this is fluorescent. Sakit yata sa mata. So, the parts that you can see the light from the inside. So, yung windows, yung taas ng door, hindi ko alam kung ano yung tawag doon. And then, this star, yung decoration, star. Okay. It's also yellow. And then, we have yung blue-gray. So, this is a very light gray. Para hindi siya stark na white for the windowsill. And then, this part here. Okay. When this dries up, it's going to be as light as that. I'm also coloring the stand. Or yung stick, yung lollipop stick. And these, I don't know what these are called. Yung decoration sa may roof. Okay. There. Tapos, kung kita nyo dyan, yung mga, diba, yung sa snow, may shadow. Diba? Hindi naman siya white lang. So, we can put dots around where you think should have a little bit of shade near the edge of the house. And randomly sa ground. Okay. And also do these accents around the house. Kahit sa sky. Diba? Para lang siyang darker na blue. Okay. And also I'll put some dito sa clouds. Near the border. Just as an accent. Okay? Medyo random lang. Okay. Tapos, as a final touch, I think I have to I will use the white pen for the snow. Okay, so may snowfall daw kunwari. But the problem with the white pen is that sometimes it gets stuck. Like now. Ayaw niya magsulat. So, ang ginagawa ng mga tao, sabi nila kasi you need to warm it up. You need to warm up the ink. So, I use my hand to warm it up. And it looks like it's working. Okay? So, you can or not. Kanina, actually, matagal kong ginawa yan. Kasi nga, ito yung problema ko. Okay? Ayun. Okay. Napalaki tuloy. So, we can do just a few bigger. Kung to scale yan, ano, kung isipin nyo ganyan kalaki yung house, yung dinodraw nating snow, well, ako, itong dinodraw kong snow, ay parang snowball. So, kung may tao dyan na maliit, ito na yung ginagamit nilang pang snowball fight. Okay. So, you can draw the bigger sized snow. And then, you can do the smaller dots. And scatter randomly. Not even round. Okay, kasi nga ang ating pen ay nagloloko. I have to write on the back of my hand to warm it up. Okay? Videos, I think. Just retouching some of them. I think we're done here. So, going to stick this down. Don't mind my hand. May sulat. Again, with a wet glue or liquid glue. The edge. Tapos, X sa gitna. Isa pang X. And then, we're going to place it. Make sure that you're on the right side. I've done that a few times. Okay. And then, center it. So, equal distance from all sides. So, there. There's our finished card. We have two of them. Okay? So, that's it for today's lesson. October 30. Holidays and special occasions. Okay? So, I hope you can make your cards soon and then upload it dun sa assignment. Nagawan ko na ng folder dun sa GClass.